let me down.
Hello everyone, it's me, Royal Greed here, and I'm back with some more Warhammer. I know it's been a bit, but I don't know, I've been in a weird situation. Anyways, I wanted to try out some Tomb Kings, and they're a really fun faction. Have you ever wanted to see, like, undead Egyptians? Well, there you go, they found a way to make it a reality. It's actually a really cool faction. I've always enjoyed the, like, Egyptian, like, lore and all that, like, of their, mythology. And a lot of like stuff that they have in this faction is based on that, which I find is awesome. So basically, me and my teammate both went the Tomb Kings, except I went a more like straight up undead version instead of like the regular stuff they have. I went with a lot of the Crypt Ghouls, and it's a really cool unit. I like it, but they're kind of expensive for what they do. Anyways, I went a bunch of Crypt Ghouls. My ally just went with the regular, like, skeleton warriors for the faction. Some archers. He went, like, more basic than what I did. Also, we both brought one of these boys. I love these things. I wanted to go a more ranged heavy version of Tomb King, so I decided to bring in some of these guys, which is going to be the bit of the focus here. These are a Shopti. They're massive. Well, yeah, you can compare the size just by like kind of seeing it. Massive towering bowman. Oh, there you go. Well, he's a bit tall, but whatever. Well, with that, let's get started. So I brought catapults as well, and we're fighting lizardmen over here, which are very tough in melee. I knew I wouldn't win the melee, so I just tried to go ranged. We also have Norska fighting my ally, but they're going to be fighting. I don't remember whether or not I have to deal with them too much or not. First part of the game, I was deciding to just get rid of their flying units. Because these would cause wreckage on my backline. I don't really have a way to deal with them other than the Ushopti bowmen. So as they go up, I mean, look at it. It's great. Already, one of the units had to retreat, and then the second one's about to break. And all the damage they did to me was basically a couple casualties from Crypt Ghouls, which is well worth it. These Ushopti are so good at anti-air, and I love it. They have a lot of range because of just bigger archer. Now the only issue I have though is the enemy Saurus. Very beefy lizard boys. When those reach my lines, my lines are going to fall very quickly. I don't have like Crypt Ghouls, which are basically these guys can't hold up. They're basically like just a zombie. Think of that. I also have some skeleton spearmen in the back just in case my front line falls, so I can pull these guys into the front to protect the catapults. Because these catapults are actually going to be doing most of the damage to the Saurus. I think I was focusing these guys though. Oh, that's where they were shooting at. I do like the catapults in this game. Like, there's so many different variants of them. Now, I pulled my, what was it? Necker Sphinx. I get them and the other one confused so much. I pulled my Necker Sphinx out of the forest that I had it hiding in. Decided to, show him that I mean business. The main reason I pulled it out, though, is because, I saw he was starting to pull up his solar engines. Think of a dino, but like a tank turret strapped to it. Basically is a tank, actually. I was trying to focus fire with my Shopti. And when it shoots, it hits. Sadly, it did actually miss there. Splash damage hurts, though. This flank barely won because these are the guys that have been focused by catapults. I have to have 2 double team this one source over here. This is where the main line engagement is. I summon skeletons behind them because this certain board, or Get the Black, actually has that power, and that's why I pick him. I find him to be a really cool, like, board choice. In the meantime, they just have a lot of ranged options over here, like a million, or these they're skink skirmishers. He has all of his ranged over here, so I thought, you know, the big thing should go after some stuff over here. I know, I'm not the best commentator. So they're sending in their leader, Krotgar, versus my Sphinx, which I was feeling pretty confident about, but we'll see how that goes in the future. So he brought his pterodons back to shoot at my Ushapti, so I was not having it. I instantly switched targets onto them and let them know why these Ushapti are powerful. Now, my opponent, to be fair in all honesty, was not really using these units for some reason. I guess he just forgot they existed, but these are like all of his ranged units. I guess he thought they could shoot over, but these are like little blow dart guys. So they have to like have a direct line of sight on whatever they're firing at, which they can't shoot over their own men. Now at this point, the Pterodon Riders are just shattered, like they're not going to come back after that. Now I think at this point I actually summoned a... No, I have a summon ready. Don't know where I use it though. But as catapults are firing, they're racking up value on these range units that he's just not using. There's a lot of mistakes made by my opponent in this game. My Sphinx is actually losing against Krotgar, which I was not expecting because I paid a lot of money for this, so I was hoping that it would be able to stand up, but now that I have it surrounded by many different units here. He has some Saurus defending him. There's so many like different things here that are just fighting to the death in a giant circle. There's my leader right there as well. Like there's so many units, like what can you do? Krotgar versus the Sphinx, I think in a one-on-one fight Krotgar would win. But surrounded, you're not gonna do anything about that. Now his solar engine this whole time has still been firing at me, but I don't think he's been telling it to fire, so it's just been shooting at random units. Oh, that was a good hit. And there goes one. I love that when these guys die, they just turn back into statues. They are, like most of the Tomb King, like big units are just like carved statues that have been given life. I find them so cool, just undead Egyptians. Now I did bring one of these guys, the Necrotect, because he's not the best in melee. Look at him running. He's not the best in melee, but he can heal like the big statue monsters. As soon as the Saurus started to retreat, just try to chase down all the ranged units that are left. That's the thing I need to get off the field. My ally also on the other side, he's doing about half and half, like they're doing okay. Skeleton, like he seems to be winning, the enemy isn't really doing too much. These catapults, since they've been allowed to fire the whole game, they have about 100 kills each. And there's 100 kills, usually that's not the best for catapults, but I'm pretty sure all of that was on Saurus Warriors, which are these boys, expensive and really strong. So the Sphinx finally caught up to Krotgar again. He came back. He's not gonna last. There goes the king. It's really hard to beat something that won't run away. Such a cool unit. At this point I was just pulling everything I had up to the front lines, like the skeleton spearmen, the Ushapti that ran out of ammo, I'm pulling them up to melee. The only thing I left back was 2 ranks of skeleton spearmen, which I'm lining up right now to defend it, and the catapults, which I've set to not fire right now. because I'm gonna save them for like later in the game. The enemy is also trying to regroup. I just sent some units to their death just to keep these ranged units away. And at this point, I was just kind of watching my allies battle over here, who his lord is getting destroyed right now. Katep, who's I think a mage. Yeah, Katep's a mage. And he's fighting with Throg, who's just a giant angry troll. Well, I mean, what can you do? My ally doesn't really have any resources. All of his ranged units are out of ammo. Like, so I decided to pull all my stuff over to help him. But I knew that my enemy would keep following me, so I just decided to sacrifice this skeleton spearman unit. They're cheap, but they take a lot of ranged fire to kill because they have really good shields. So I just brought them the majority of whatever I had left over there to help my ally. And while that's happening, I still have my ranged area over here, which eventually I'm pulling up to start firing at these guys. Did his lord die? His lord did die, so yeah, Throg did win that. But now the Sphinx is coming. It's angry. Is that a flaming head? Yep. That spell, awesome looking spell. But God, I hate it. I love it and I hate it. So over here, we're just like routing off all the Norskin infantry, trying to get them out of here. The enemy was not paying too much attention to these guys, which could have helped a lot. I don't know what they were doing. I remember my ally saying something like he just won't use his range. No, at this point my skeletons finally got just obliterated. I sent them against the rest of his army, which he's lining up to go fight me now. I don't have any range left. We're just trying to gang up on top of Norska and finish them. He's sending his spear guys in to go and fight my units, but yeah, there's not enough. Now, the thing I am worried about is, like, even though there's just a couple of these guys actually hit really hard, and they cause poison to whatever they hit, if they're just allowed to fire. So if you don't have any ranged, and they're allowed to shoot, yeah, it causes problems. Luckily, they seem to have used most of their ammunition, though. Now, he has a ton of, like, units over here that still have a lot of ammunition, which is why I was trying to use my catapults for that specific reason. At this point, though, I was telling my ally, like, hey, start, like, going over here, regrouping. I'm gonna be over there soon, but, like, before that even can happen, the enemy is all routed, the army losses happened, and apparently the game saw, and it was like, yeah, they don't have enough left to defeat you. I think they still had a chance if they, like, let all their ranged units fire, but, Good play on everybody, though. Like, I think it is so cool, just this faction in general. I do like that this guy specifically can bring crypt ghouls. Like, that's his specific thing, instead of regular infantry like the swordsman. I think they're cool looking. But these guys right here, Ushapti Greatbow, like, it says they didn't get a lot of kills. Well, if you check value, they're each worth, I think, 1,000 something. It's like 1,200 maybe at the most. Well, as long as you get over that in damage value, that means they paid for themselves, like, by far. And look at that, 1,900, 1,400, they both did really good. This thing actually paid for itself, which I didn't expect. I just wanted to throw it in. And both the catapults did really well too. Sadly, my infantry, yeah, they all got, like, stomped on. They were there just to hold the enemy. Good play on this guy. Like, he was actually really nice. But this lizardman, by the way, this guy was so salty that I beat him after the match that he just instantly kicked me from the game. He said, try hard. But he was using units that aren't allowed to be used, so I don't know what to tell him. Whatever. It was a fun game either way. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more, like, let me know, like, what you want to specifically see, like, faction-wise, or, like, any other game. I'm up for anything, actually. Very bored because COVID. Hey, if you want to play, just message me on Steam. It should be somewhere in the link. Not link, description below. And thanks for watching again. I know I'm an idiot. I'm not a good commenter. But, see ya.
Let me escape from this love, 'cause I'm a prisoner. I just want to look my